a part of that Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Good morning, Smalls. Good morning, Courtney.
Morning.
Good morning, Evan. I know that this is a particularly upsetting day for you. I couldn't even get the word out because you're breathing so heavily. Courtney, you can't see this because you are on remote today. Evan is the Arnold meme right now. He's got his hand in such a tight fist.
I need to loosen up a little. I got to loosen up a little bit. I got to get ready to go here.
Is there a
my
vein
God.
coming out of your forehead
I got to get ready to go.
Courtney, did you see this? He unzipped his jacket and he's wearing a Bill Belichick t-shirt.
I see it.
And it's the same miserable photo of Belichick, and underneath it's a variety of emotions. Cheerful, hysterical, excited, intrigued, angry, eager, confused. He does not change. He is steady in his misery. Happily miserable, as you say, right? As Julian Edelman would say. It's the Patriot way. Happily miserable. And I don't think that Bill Belichick is happily miserable this morning. I'm sure he's just straight miserable because he probably feels like he's deserving of being a first ballot Hall of Famer.
You don't say.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is utterly inexplicable and despicable that Bill Belichick is not in the Hall of Fame. Absolutely absurd that he did not get the required number of votes to get into the Hall of Fame. I don't know what the reasoning may be. I don't know if these writers are just miserable humans that want to now take it out on this man. He is the most accomplished person in the history of the National Football League. He has won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach, 2 as a coordinator. He is the best general manager to ever live. He's the best head coach to ever live. His fingerprints are all over this Super Bowl this year because of all of the people that he selected for this New England Patriots team, and there has never been a coach better than him. 100 wins, 3 Super Bowl appearances, and 2 Super Bowl wins after his second alleged scandal with the Deflategate. And if you want to say out there that the reason that Belichick is not in is because of Spygate and or Deflategate, then guess what? Tom Brady cannot get in the Hall of Fame. Tom Brady cannot get in the Hall of Fame. Robert Kraft cannot get in the Hall of Fame. And Bill Polian needs to be taken out of the Hall of Fame because of the fact that Bill Polian, general manager of the Colts, who's in the Hall of Fame, oversaw the Indianapolis Colts when they had their own quote-unquote cheating issue with pumping the crowd noise into the stadium that the league came down on them. So if we're going to play this game, I would have rather Belichick not even been eligible for the Hall of Fame like baseball players. Again, ridiculous to say that they're not in, but the same kind of thing. Then make him ineligible because he has this attached to him. This is utterly ridiculous. This is disgraceful. And it actually just makes the last 20 years of football embarrassing because if you're a coach that gets into the Hall of Fame now, the first question you have to be asked, do you think you're better than Belichick? It's ridiculous. And all those writers, every one of them, even the writers that voted for Belichick, should have their votes stripped. They need to restart this process, hand the process over to Peter King or Jay Glazer or Adam Schefter and someone. Let them pick who's going to be in now moving forward in terms of the voters, because what they did shamed this unbelievable sport that this man dominated for 20 plus years.
Okay, so I know you're very upset about this because you are a Bill Belichick truther, and I think he should have been in first ballot. He's going to get in. But I think he should have been in first ballot based on everything he's accomplished. The question then becomes, what more would he have to do in order for him to meet the requirements to be a first ballot Hall of Famer? And the answer is nothing. However, I think it is important to acknowledge that with Spygate specifically, other people's legacies and careers were altered because of that Super Bowl. And you can say alleged all you want. They were fined. He was fined. There were tapes. They had consequences for their actions. So with that one specifically, there's no alleged because there were consequences for videotaping the Rams walkthrough prior to the Super Bowl and gaining an advantage in that game. And if you talk to members of the greatest show on turf, they feel like that Super Bowl was robbed from them. Their dynasty was derailed and the Patriots started.
All right, take it away from them then. Give the Super Bowl to the Rams right now. Is he a Super Bowl coach? Is he a Hall of Fame coach? And you say they were penalized. Yeah, so they were penalized. So now it's these miserable writers' job to penalize him again? So now it's their job. The NFL penalized him. And guess what the NFL did? Courtney, you know this because you covered the NFL closer than anyone. You know what the NFL did years later when they had their 100-year anniversary celebration, the 100 greatest players of all time? You know who they flew into L.A. to host with the great Rich Eisen, noon until 3 Eastern? Bill Belichick. So the guy that they basically kicked out for a minute, they brought back to host this big celebration for the 100 greatest players of all time. You're right. He was penalized for that by the league. He served a penalty. And now, Courtney, your peers, I'm not blaming you, the writers feel the need to now penalize him again? Are you freaking kidding me?
Everybody keeps talking about the word that's thrown out, penance, and I didn't realize I was going to get some sort of Catholic biblical lesson from my CCD days that I just wasn't paying attention to back in the day with Pontius Pilate. That's like the first thing I think of here with the punishment element that we're hearing about from Bill Polian. But you're talking about what the writers are doing, the people who are ultimately responsible for voting him in. And it makes me think about the gatekeeping that exists across all levels of sports, particularly in the NFL, that this is the prime example of now, but we see this all the time. There's gatekeeping in the respects of the people who are allowed into the most prestigious Hall of Fame in sports. There's a reason. It's under 400 members. They want to keep it small. It's not like the NBA or the Basketball Hall of Fame that factors in all levels of which you've played or coached. It's just the NFL. They want to keep that number small. That's why there's only 50 people voting on this committee that are responsible for whether you're in, whether you're not. But this expands far beyond what we see in the Hall of Fame. We see this every day. It's being able to hold back coaches from interviews, blocking coaches from opportunities because you want to keep them on your staff. It's the information trickle-down effect in buildings that happen every single day where head coaches, quarterbacks often devise a game plan before other people on the staff figure out what that game plan is. It's figuring out who can talk to the quarterback on a daily basis versus who's not allowed to speak to the quarterback. It's coaching searches. Bill Polian being somebody that has been revered by a lot of front offices, a lot of ownership groups, as determining which coaches go where, which general managers get hired places. This is a symptom of a far bigger issue in football. It just happens to be so magnified because of the name that is now being kept out of the Hall of Fame for another year. He'll get in 2027, but that's not even the point here. The point is you have a certain group of people that have been dictating the rules about prestige in this league for a very long time. And now it's coming to the forefront where we can point out the flaws in that system and hope that there will be actual change. But you're never going to get change without transparency. And for whatever reason, the NFL, from the Pro Bowl selections that we've been talking about for the last 24, 48 hours to the Hall of Fame selection that is not happening in 2026. This is what it is. Like, the gatekeeping part of the NFL is a huge issue, and it's not going away anytime soon because the league doesn't want it to.
It's ridiculous. And you're pointing out that we don't know who didn't vote for Belichick. And by the way, to Smalls' point, I understand it's personal for you, especially because of the St. Louis ties. I understand that. But here's my issue. Why didn't we know about this going in? It's only if that was going to be a hurdle, it should have been known you need to vote him in despite of what we deem to be not okay, which would be the Spygate aspect of things. We only hear about that in justification after the fact because steroid stuff as to why they don't get in.
He should be in.
But we don't know that going in here. So they've made it up as they go along. They also are telling you one other thing. They're telling you that the Patriots dynasty, they actually underachieved. Because imagine if they could play for a Hall of Fame coach, what they could have done. Imagine Fame coach for the last 20 years actually held them back, because if they had the opportunity to play for one of the greats, a Hall of Famer out there, then maybe Tom Brady would have more than 6 rings in New England, but he had to settle for playing for this bridge.
Or is he lucky that he was paired with an owner like Robert Kraft and a quarterback like Tom Brady? What's his winning percentage? That's lower than Jeff Fisher, who's 5'12". And I know, obviously, this argument. I'm just saying that there are consequences
Serve
Hold on.
them.
Hold on. Clearly, some of those writers want the cheating that Bill Ballot Hall of Famer because of actions that he participated in that were nefarious, that had consequences towards other people in a negative way.
So are they taking Polian out? I'm curious. Are they taking Polian out?
He's going to get in, Evan.
No, but are they
He's
taking
not a
him
first
out?
ballot Hall
Are
of
they
Famer.
taking Polian out?
They can't do that. They can't take Hall of Famers out.
Courtney, do they not
never-
have an alleged cheating thing in Indianapolis with the pumping the crowd noise in?
Of course they do. They
Okay,
also,
so are we
they also
taking
have
them out?
Evan, they don't do that. They don't take
Come on.
murderers out of the Hall of Fame, so they're not going to take somebody
Don't
like
get me
that out.
started
Come
on
on,
that. But this is
He
the
should have
problem.
been in first ballot.
Of course he should.
He should have been in. But I also understand the argument that this should be attached to him in history because it affected a lot of people. It affected a lot of legacies, Evan. And I know that you don't want to factor that in at all, but there are a lot of people that feel wronged by what they did and by his actions in particular.
That's right. Give the Rams the Super Bowl. Take it away from them. Give it to them. Give the Rams the Super Bowl. He still has 5 more.
You can't rewrite history, though, because what happens if they lose that Super Bowl? Does he stick with Tom Brady? Do the Patriots go on this run? You can't do that. You can't go back and relitigate it.
They've already, I mean, but they fined him. Like, the thing is, there was punishment.
Thank
There
you,
was
Courtney.
penance, post-governance.
Yes,
passed
he was
down.
fined.
He was fined. They lost a first-round draft pick. Was that not enough? Because now we're determining what fair punishment is. Getting punished in real time versus getting punished after whenever your career wraps up. Now we're talking about what it means in the future, that you can get punished in the here and now. And also, by the way, if you're ever eligible for the Hall of Fame for all these incredible honors after your career's done, you're going to have to wait then too. What we really need here is a set of guidelines. Why is this the hardest thing to litigate? That we have a set of criteria that is public, that we get to figure out how somebody becomes a candidate for the Hall of Fame versus how they're not, and also like what the criteria is for getting somebody in, like what boxes you have to check. Why can't we have any transparency there? Because that would eliminate all of us. Honestly, we're speculating right now. We're talking about Bill Polian because of reporting that came out from Seth Wickersham and Don Van Natta that points him as patient zero here of all of this. There are other voters who did not vote for Bill Belichick. Was it by their own accord? Was it because they believed what Bill Polian said? Were they influenced by what Bill Polian was saying in those committee meetings that go for hours and hours and hours to determine